Now we're moving on to the Project du jour. I don't know if that's French or not. I know the du jour part was.
I don't either.
Progetto du.
I'm going to show it off again. Block 1.
Why do I say du jour, not del dia?
I did put tape and a piece of thread in here, so I don't want to cut it. See how good this stuff works?
Apparently.
So, why is it soup du jour instead of soup del dia?
I don't know.
Why is there this cultural...
I don't know. Why is it hors d'oeuvre and not hors d'oeuvre?
Well, I mean, it's all French. I'm just saying, you have all these like fancy words that are French.
I know Grey Poupon.
My son, I still laugh every time. He was at a very, very fancy restaurant in Boston. Like, you know, 100 plus a person. Like,
just to sit down.
Uppity restaurant.
Jacket required?
I don't know about that, but they have a lovely fancy steak dinner. He's gonna kill me. And he picked up the dessert menu. And he said, excuse me, can you tell me what the chocolate souffle is? Sorry, Craig.
You didn't have to say his name.
I still laugh to this day because his wife's like, what? And the waiter's like, souffle? He goes, oh.
Souffle.
Souffle. I don't know, but it was totally wrong, and it was just chocolate souffle. But anyway, so we all knew he didn't belong in that restaurant.
Either that he failed French in high school. I mean,
he didn't take French, but anyway.
Yes, Deb, the sewer's aid will help with split embroidery thread.
Are we talking about, we're talking about sewer's aid, Deb?
You want to turn that around?
Well, I was going to hold it up, but if you want me to rather turn it around.
Oh, you can hold it up. I just noticed, I was just looking at the...
Boy, that red looks orange on my camera.
Yeah,
it's not.
We're going to get a better camera, overhead
it's
cam.
very, these are red. They're Christmas red colors. They're not orange. The green is not that yellow either, just so y'all know.
It looks red over here, though.
It does?
Yeah.
It might be a monitor, who knows?
This is, finally, block 1 of Frosty.
Yay!
And this has so many trial and error things on it. I want to discuss some of them. One of them is, what fusible do I use? So we're going to cover my trials and tribulations of fusible because I tried 4 different ones on this sample.
Okay.
The other thing we're going to talk about is the stabilizer because I tried several different stabilizers on this sample and I have a preferred method. Why are you looking? You see, he's alien.
I'm just thinking what I'm going to have to buy now so everybody can do this.
Yes.
Yes. See.
Yes.
Nothing that I thought. Nothing that I thought we were going to
have. Most of it you already have.
Nothing I thought we were going to need.
Well.
So it's not.
Do you want your people to be successful?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Cool beans.
Whenever you start talking about experimenting, I'm like, okay.
That's all I do.
Cha-ching.
This has all been cut on the Cricut.
Okay.
It's all been machine embroidered. So none of this, I don't know if we can get a close-up. It's all blanket stitched. I know. And one of the things I learned about, now see, I'm messing you up again, Ed. Look, there we go. See, it's all blanket stitched. Even the little decals they gave us, which, by the way, we have some different decals to show off. But I didn't put them on here yet. Yes, it's all machine done in the hoop.
And if you do want to do Frosty, the actual instructions are for hand applique.
They are.
So you can still do that if you want.
You can, and we can still cut it. We can still cut your pieces on the Cricut. You don't have to put adhesive on them if you don't want to, but I would if I was doing a blanket stitch, just so I don't have fraying edges. The other thing is if you want to do a needle turned applique, you get all the patterns in your thing. You can do as much by hand as you want.
Yeah. But the fun was trying to do it by machine.
Yeah, for me that was the fun part. So this is with a 9.5 by 14 hoop, which is like Dream
Machine and above, yes.
Yeah.
Or a Stellaire.
Yeah, Stellaire will do it. This was 4 hoopings.
For one block.
Quadrant. Yeah, including the quilting. And what I did with the quilting, if you like this quilting, This is
If
a
you
pattern that,
wipe this quilting.
if you wipe it.
I like your quilting. Kill the
The
rabbit,
background quilting that you
kill the
see
web.
is unique to Kimberbell's blue tiles.
Yes.
If you bought blue tiles, this is the winter quilting pattern that you got in the blue tiles. That's the only way you can get this pattern.
And we should have more blue tiles in stock shortly.
But it doesn't mean you have to do the background quilting. You can choose not to do the background quilting. I wanted to do the background quilting because I think it dressed up the scene a little bit better. And what I used for batting, after much to do, was Kimberbell's project batting. And the reason I recommend that is it is so thin. It's very thin. See how thin that is? And I'm going to add a big piece of batting to the quilt when it's done. So I just wanted enough. I like the texture it gave to the applique and the quilting. I like the little puff. Just enough. So, and by the way, it's a great stabilizer. Just saying.
Well, isn't that what it's made for, to stabilize and bat at the same time?
I don't know, but it does.
I would have thought that's why, you know.
It did a great job.
That's what makes it so special.
I did not have
That's
puckers.
the magic of it.
It was real, because there's not heavy embroidery on this anyway, which led me to my other discovery. This is not trimmed down or anything either. So, just so you know, this is my raw edge, my raw size. Turn it around, Becky. Okay, right? Is that what you're going to say to me? Turn it around, Becky. So all of this has been digitized for everybody, which is fun. But then came the stabilizer. I did not hoop my project. I floated my project. And so I needed a stabilizer in the hoop to anchor my project to.
Which wasn't the batting.
Which was not the batting.
Okay.
Question from Danny.
Why did you float it?
Because it's easier to line things up if I'm not hooping my big hunky piece of material.
Okay.
What we did was, actually, remember I told you it's 4 quadrants?
Yeah.
You put your stabilizer in your hoop, and the first thing it's going to do is stitch out placement lines.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Fancy. And and when you see how this is done, in the beginning I have you mark out the whole square. And those become your placement lines. And then if it's like I'm lining up an eave to the roof, then I will mark just the top part of the house on the stabilizer. So you easily know where your thing is going to go. But if you don't float it, that's a nightmare.
Okay.
So now we're floating.
And because it's not super dense, you can float it and get away with it.
Well, I got to be honest with you. If it was super dense, the sticky back stabilizer takes care of it. That stuff is like, and you'll see, because I played with it, you'll see many different, many different stabilizers on the back. This part here is the sticky back tearaway, the heavy duty stuff. I don't like it, because now I got to take it all out, and it's a pain in the butt.
Can you picture Eddie? So that we can get the hand gestures.
Oh.
No, we don't like it. No.
For this project, because I'm blanking stitching, I don't want to be yanking with force against the blanket stitches. So I do not recommend the heavy-duty sticky back stabilizer. Over here, I used a clean and tearaway. A very good clean tearaway. And I stuck it down with Becky's favorite glue.
Which is what?
Which is
I
what?
like
There's
that.
like 8.
I used a glue stick.
Okay.
I just used a fabric glue stick to temporarily stick it down. I liked that, except I liked how easy it was to get out. What I didn't like was I wanted to pin my fabric too, just to make sure it wasn't going to move. And tearaway is not pin friendly.
No.
I was saying some nasty words and going, I just wasted that. So you can't pin it, but you can glue it. And it got me through just fine. So then I said, well, now what, Becky? Something better? Yep. This top, both these top sections, which I love. Do you see any stabilizer?
No. Did you use the fusible water soluble?
I did.
Probably the most expensive stabilizer they make.
No, but listen.
I'm out.
Listen. It is so lightweight. It's usually recommended for like standing lace projects.
Yeah.
So I thought, I won't be able to handle this project. But because I have the batting in there,
Yeah.
it was a no-brainer. And then I just soaked it. I literally just took the whole block and stuck it in the sink.
Okay.
You have to cut out extra, although there is a tearaway sticky back wash away.
Yep.
Oh yeah, baby, I found it.
Tear
So
away,
I'm going to
sticky back.
try that
But
next.
why would you want to tear away
Because
and to wash away?
Because cutting it away can get tricky. Like I got to go around these little snowflakes.
Yeah, but if it's already water soluble,
But I
why-
don't want all that glue in my sink.
Oh, okay.
It worked. It worked.
No, I'm
It's
just curious.
at
I'm
this
just- that
point,
seems like a weird,
it's my
redundant-
recommendation. It really
tear
is.
away, sticky back, water soluble.
Water soluble.
Tear
I used
away,
Kimber
feasible.
Bell's. I
Okay.
used Kimber Bell's one to do this, and I
Okay.
got it here.
So that means that I can order more of it if you got Kimber Bell's.
I think you got it here.
I probably do because, like I said, if
But I'm also going to try. I think it's Floriani that has, and I'm sure other people do too.
I think they're all coming out of 1 of 3 factories.
Yeah.
You know how that stuff
a
works.
sticky back, wash away, tear away.
Yes.
So, but you can use many different stabilizers, Brent. I also just used the tear away.
And it came out fantastic.
And that is cheaper. So the good news is you can do whatever you want. It depends on what you want to do afterwards.
And how much work you...
I like just soaking it. And then it disappears. And I thought, wow. And it's nice. It's good. Anyway, so that's my stabilizer dilemmas.
Nice.
Now, let's talk about fusible dilemmas.
Fusible dilemmas, okay.
Because there are many fusibles. And by the way, Brent, I stumbled upon this when I was cleaning, and I haven't tried it yet.
Fusion stick?
Yeah, have you tried this?
We got it from Dime because it has our name on it.
Do you still have some more of this?
I can get more of it if we
Well,
need to.
I'm going to try it. I haven't tried it.
I don't, yeah.
So, if you have a roll of this, I'm trying this next.
Okay.
Okay? Because I happen to have a big roll, and I'm like, oh, this is a good project to try that on.
Good.
Because it says it's double-sided adhesive, which is what you need, a double-sided adhesive.
Why double-sided?
Because I need to stick it to my applique.
Oh, you're talking for the...
I'm sorry, I'm talking about appliquing. I need to stick glue to this side,
But
and then I
that's-
need to stick it to that side.
But that's for the back of the fabric. That's not the actual stabilizer in the hoop.
Exactly.
Oh, see, I thought-
This is for my appliques.
Really?
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Nope.
I thought it was a...
That's what I'm telling you. I know, but look at it. I'm going to try it.
So it's basically just Wonder Under.
I think it is.
Okay.
See, you sell these things you don't even know what they are.
I just sell what people want. The only stuff I get excited about is when I get to order fabric, and then it comes in there.
I just like trying everything. So let's talk about Misty Fuse and why I don't recommend Misty Fuse for this project.
Misty Fuse has kind of got a real niche use, I think.
And what niche would that be?
Art quilting.
But it's a pain in the buttinsky.
Yeah, but if you're doing like one of those things where you want like globs of thread on your project, you put some Misty Fuse down,
Okay.
throw your threads on, and hit it with an
Here's
iron.
how Misty Fuse works for those people who don't know and why I'm not using it for this project.
Well,
But
not
you
enough.
you can, okay? It is a sheet of glue. Sorry, Ed, I don't know what I'm doing. A sheet of glue.
It's
Look at this.
basically Wonder Under without the wax paper.
It's a sheet of glue.
Yeah.
So you have to take parchment paper or an applique pressing sheet, and you have to stick this down, put this on that because you don't want it to stick to the applique sheet.
Yeah.
Then you have to put your fabric on here.
Mm-hmm.
Then you pull it off of your your parchment paper, and then you cut out your design.
Yeah.
Or you use 2 pieces of parchment paper to get the glue solidified. I mean, it's ridiculous. You cannot use this without parchment paper or an applique sheet.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's another step. And for this project, I don't think it finishes the edges good enough.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it seals off my edges. The Cricut's going to cut them just fine, but I'm worried about washing.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I will tell you that
I don't like
Sarah, who does fantastic art quilts.
Yep, she
loves this stuff. Yeah.
Okay, well then that's.
But yeah, that extra step where you have to put the paper on, I do know for applique, it's an extra step. Yeah.
I would recommend a different project. So then I said, yes, product.
Well, if you're doing a different project, that's what I would recommend. I'm just saying, if I was doing applique, I would be looking for a different project.
Okay, so then I said, what's the closest thing to this? And you already said, probably Wonder Under.
Yes.
Right? So I got me some Wonder Under. Now.
You went through all of this stuff.
What do you think I do in my spare time?
I didn't know that you had spare time. That's why I mean.
Wonder Under is right here at Four Pines.
Yes, Wonder Under is one of those just old school staples that you just can't live without.
Here's what I don't like about Wonder Under.
Okay.
One is, it is very fine, but I like that. And when you do this project, I actually do the placement stitch in the same color as the blanket stitch, and sometimes I do the blanket stitch twice just because I really like the heavier look and the heavier thread. Didn't like my machine. My buildup is enough that I'm not worried about my edges. They're nicely built up. They look good. So I think, and you can see I've already washed mine. Yeah. They look great, right? No shrinkage, right? Cool. Mm-hmm. So, but then you go to take this stuff off. First of all, this is a cold peel, people. And I mean cold, as in set it aside and do your cutting and come back in an hour. If you try to take this stuff off in the beginning, when it's still even the slightest bit warm,
it all comes off.
The glue looks like Misty Fuse. There's like webbing of glue, some on the fabric, some on the paper. I'm like, I literally was ready to say, no more Wonder Under, I'm done with you.
You were just like speeding through. I've never had that issue. Are you like ironing it and you flipping it over, pulling it off?
Yeah, because I wanted to put it on my
cricket. Okay. See, I'm just.
She doesn't mess around.
So, but here's what I discovered by waiting a little while, i.e., going to bed mad, getting up the next morning.
In a wet bed that your husband popped a hole in.
In a wet bed. You guys are gonna love this. I still didn't like it because I'm like this, trying to get it off my edges.
Yeah.
You know, it's a pain in the butt-insky.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been scoring Sticky Back Stabilizer.
Mm-hmm.
So you already know this? Well, I didn't.
So I took a pin. These are just a few things I picked up from my mother. My mother used to show me this.
I took a pin and I went like that. And this is the next day, so it's plenty cool. And I'm like, no way. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Now feel that. That's got glue on it.
It does.
But it's still nice and soft.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now become one of my favorite things for this project.
One of Eddie's mustaches?
Okay, I gotta use that on a kit.
I'm a walrus.
This is a kit. This is somebody's fence.
I want to be a walrus.
This is somebody's fence. Literally, not only that, but I couldn't figure out how to cut people's projects ahead of time for them, which I wanted to. I could leave this paper on when I cut it on the Cricut. And it didn't come off because it doesn't like to come off until the next day. And then when I scored it with this, it came off so easy. So this is now Wonder Under. Wonder Under is my biggest recommendation. It beat out Heat and Bond Light, and it beat out Seam to Seam 2, both of which are used in the sample quilt, so you can feel the difference. For example, Brent, feel the fabric on the house versus the roof.
Roof seems a little bit stiffer.
No, the house feels stiffer.
Well, I can't tell.
Okay. Well, here's why I like.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now that I'm off of the window, that helps.
Okay. Here's what I like about seam to seam. If you're going to cut this on your electronic machine, you're going to remove the paper from the backing before you put it on the mat because it will not stay on it. The backing will float. Your fabric will be all over the place. So no matter what electronic cutting machine you're using, you remove this you stick it on your fabric, then remove the backing, stick it on your electronic cutting machine and cut. I didn't have to do that with my one under,
yep.
Which was nice because I could deliver you cuts with paper still on them. What is nice about seam to seam is for those people who like, the reason it comes with 2 sheets of paper is it's very sticky. See? See? What that is good for is people who like to place and be artsy-fartsy and place stuff here and there, and it kind of sticks a little bit but not completely, so you can move around and blah, blah, blah. This project is so layered you can't do that anyway. There's not if you want to change your thread colors, which I did. Which you don't have to, but I match my thread colors. So that's what's good about this. But it is notoriously thicker than the Wonder Under. I mean, when you look at the back of the fabric, you see a glowing bunch of glue. You do not see a bunch of glue on this fence.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to see it here because
it's on
the top. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
I
you
want to
won't see it there. I
it.
brought some you could sample it if we have time. Heat and Bond is very much like Seam Steam 2. Light, by the way. Always use light on these projects. The heavy stuff is really for when you're not going to sew at all. And it is heavy, so you don't want to use that. Heat and Bond is similar to Seam Steam 2, except it's not sticky. It has no pre-stick, so it only has 1 sheet of paper, not 2. That's why Seam 2 has 2 sheets, because it's naturally sticky. So
Heat and Bond is halfway between Wonder Under and Steam Seam?
When it's applied to the fabric, it's very much like the weight of Steam 2, but it's not sticky. So I believe you have this in stock too.
Yes, I believe I do.
So it's boiled down to 2 that you actually have.
Oh, nice.
That I like. My favorite is Wonder Under. My next go would be the Heat and Bond Light. Because I don't want to deal with an extra piece of paper that I don't have to deal with. That's what it boils down to.
All right.
Why were you putting my fence on my fence? Were you checking to see how accurate my cuts were?
I was, because you didn't want me to play Mr. Walrus with it, so I just wanted to see how it looked on the fence that you had.
Well, it's exactly the
same.
It
is the exact same fence. It's almost like you...
It's exactly the same fence.
You know, years ago you used to work as a fence installer?
No.
Yeah.
So now, what I
have no idea what that has to do with anything, but I just, you know, I used to put in fences. It was exciting.
So now I'm back to wanting to cut, at least for month 1, cut people's fabric for their applique.
If they want it cut, yeah.
If they want it cut. Because they got so much other stuff to learn. On month 1, I'm going to be here 7 days. I'm like, let's break them in slow.
So check out the schedule. If you're interested in Frosty, come join us. Because we have a few kits left. Well, we have to cut the kits still, because we've got all the fabric.
We do now.
Yes.
We do.
We do.
But if we're gonna
if it should be here today, I'm hoping.
Oh wait, a different background now?
No, this one. It's been ordered. It just hasn't shown up yet.
Oh, I didn't know we were waiting on that too.
But it says it's on its way. No worries. It's not like they're gonna tell me it's on a boat in the middle of the ocean that the pirates hijacked, and we're not gonna see it till.
Okay.
That's your tabletop.
That's the tabletop.
Wonder Under by the yard. By far. Be patient with it cooling.
Could you imagine being that pirate? You hijack a ship and you open up the box. Oh, what do I have? Oh, just some quilt kits. I mean, some people be excited, but if you're a pirate, you're looking for something totally different.
It's interesting. I'm packing up all my gear.
Okay. So anyway, I think that kind of wraps it up for this morning's exciting episode of Shenanigans with Becky and Brent. Oh, my hair is awesome this morning.
All the fusibles. And I got one more I'm still going to try, Brent. I'm going to try yours.
And so, you're going to try mine?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, that one, okay.
I just stumbled upon it this morning and went,
so anyway,
I got ahead.
Thank you for joining us. Like I said, check out our calendar on our website. You can join us to do all of this fun frostiness that you just watched. Or you could just come visit us at the store. We enjoy that too. Tell your like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Make us famous. I don't know why we want to be famous, but do that. And so on and be excellent to each other.